So today I'm here with Karen Ball and we're speaking over the magic medium of Skype. And I know that we both share, Karen, a fantastic love and passion of reflexology. And I would love for you to share with me and anybody who's listening to this why you think that reflexology is so great.
That could be a lengthy answer. But I think the strongest feature, strongest point of reflexology is the ability it has to offer somebody the opportunity to feel themselves in a relaxed state. And I say that because I've been practicing reflexology for over 30 years, and it seems that life just seems to speed up more and more for people. And less do I find people that even know what it feels like to be relaxed anymore. So unless one is aware of another plane of existence, it isn't even possible to strive to be there. So I think that's one of the big points of reflexology, because it shows people that they could actually exist in a different way. And then often what will happen is they'll become curious about how can they extend that feeling into other parts of their life. And then we can, perhaps offer resources or coach or, whatever, refer them to other people to also help them to, just create a less stressful life for them.
I love that. I think that is just such a beautiful thing. And you're speaking, I'm here in Loughborough, and tell us, Karen, where you're speaking from.
I'm in St. Augustine, Florida, in the United States. St. Augustine is the oldest, I think it's the oldest continuously inhabited community in North America.
Is it really? I never knew that.
450th anniversary. And I know we're young compared to Europe and other parts of the world, but that's how old we are.
That's fabulous. And how did you get into reflexology? What was it that sparked your interest or drew you into reflexology?
Well, actually, I think it was a fluke. I'm from Canada originally. That's where I was born and raised, and I had worked for many years in an unrelated business and really felt like I needed and wanted to get out of that. And I was studying nutrition and herbology, and I thought it would be logical to maybe own a health food store.
Okay.
So I started to work in one, and I would take books home from the store and read them, and I couldn't make heads or tails out of the reflexology books. They were trying to teach technique through a book, which is difficult.
Yeah.
And I realized pretty quickly that I didn't want to be in retail. But one of my regular customers just came into the store, and this was in Toronto, Canada, and told me about the Reflexology Association of Canada and that they were just beginning a program. And I thought, why not? I was just so interested in what at the time I was referring to as the human potential movement.
Yeah.
It's like somehow just manifesting the potential that we were born with. And so I said, yeah, why not? So I started to take this course and just fell in love with it, and that was in 1983. So it surprises me that, 30-something years later, here I am, still in this profession.
And still
loving it.
So, every time I meet you when I'm over in the States at the RA conference, I can see your eyes glowing and how much you passionately love this. And I see you talking about your teaching and hear about things that are going on. It's clearly something that stayed with you, and my sense is it's actually grown over the years.
Oh, absolutely. I started as a practitioner, simply, not simply, but that was my business. That was my service. And I found that I was often being asked for advice around things. And because I was studying so many aspects, I did have information sometimes that other people weren't aware of. But I was also aware that I didn't want to get into the advice mode. So so I began to think about how I could help more people than just one-on-one necessarily. And I thought teaching, like teaching how to give these sessions so that there'd be more people out there offering reflexology to people. And my teaching also has evolved into some coaching that I've learned over the years so that we can help to, for me it's about empowering somebody to want to know and seek out ways to improve their life rather than follow my directions. Because my directions are what worked for me. It might not work for you. And I found that through trial and error, what worked.
That's always the way, isn't it?
And I continue to find out. It's certainly, the journey has not ended.
Yeah. And what I think is so great is when we've met up the conferences we were last together in Santa Fe, and I'm sure we're going to be meeting up again in Alaska. Would you recommend that people who practice reflexology think about going to a conference?
Oh, absolutely. I had, I'm also a massage therapist, and I had gone to massage therapy conferences, and I didn't enjoy them very much. One, they were very, very big, and it just, I don't know what it was, but I just didn't feel as comfortable there. And so I resisted going to reflexology conferences myself for a number of years. And the first one I went to in Maine, the United States, I thought, this isn't so bad. I'm kind of enjoying this, And then when I went to the next one, which is where we met, I think. I went to an ICR conference next in Los Angeles. And I think what happens over the years is that you start, you meet people, and now we can meet people through social media. So then when you see them, and you see them every couple of years or every year, it's like coming back to see family that you don't see often.
I agree.
I just love it. I really do. There truly is genuine networking going on, lots of fun, lots of learning, and it's not so big.
I think it's a great thing, and it's so great that you're telling people, to even think about going to a conference, because I do think they're so valuable where people get to meet up, and it's lovely to hear you share that. If we've got somebody who's listening, who's coming into the field of reflexology, do you have a little gem or nugget of information that you'd like to offer somebody new coming into this wonderful field that we're in?
Oh boy, you're asking a tough question. I guess what I could say, I do have an answer for that, because I often in my own business get people saying they want to study, or, I'm on the board of the Reflexology Association of America, so people often, write to us too about courses of study. And I think the first thing is that you have to determine at what level you want to practice. If I want to be able to give my family a nice relaxing session at the end of the day, that requires a certain amount of training to do. If I want to go into it as a real business, a healthcare business, and I really want to work with people and target different imbalances they might have in their body, then that requires more education, because I have to understand more about physiology and pathology and how reflexology can affect them.
Yes.
So I think those are the two first things people have to determine. And then after that, sometimes people even, like you've done, people go into a specialized field, which is even more advanced, working perhaps with children or people with cancer or PTSD or whatever. So there's all these levels that you can work at, and kind of first have to figure out where you want to start, and then find the training that will give you the hours of education and the quality and depth of education that you need.
That's really, really good advice, Karen. And I want to say a really, really big thank you And thank you so much for sharing your vision and your views about reflexology and the fact of, where it's come from and where you see it now. And I just want to say a really big thank you. So while I find the stop record button, I just want you to know that I feel very glad that you've given us this information, and I want to say a really big thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.